Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rambling Media, the one show where there's media and we talk about it sometimes. My name is Midnight, and I'm your host for this episode. And with me, joined, is first of all Bluejay.
Hi there.
Switch.
Ahoy.
And Sherlock.
Hello there.
Yeah, so how the show tends to work is that each episode we're going to be picking up a different piece of media, maybe a book, a game, a movie, TV show, anything, with some limits. And the idea is we'll be pitching the show to each other to convince each other to give it a try. And so today we're going to be celebrating a game that came out a few years ago called Eastward, which is an indie game with a very more pixel art style. And but I'm just going to kind of just chat about the plot. You guys want me to take you through a journey?
By all means.
I'm down.
Great. So the game Eastward is set in like this post-apocalyptic world. The main character is this silent protagonist called John, who finds this girl called Sam and essentially becomes like an adoptive family. And they're living in this underground town where they've built this whole area together. And they're just living this comfortable small life until Sam has this girl gets this apparition which looks like her appear and essentially encourage her to go explore the outside world, even though everyone in this town is going, hey, do not go out there, the world's already ended. To which they find out actually the world's fine, like actually there are people still around, there's still civilization. And it's actually like a very beautiful like cityscape. But while they're traveling around, there's like this miasma, like this smoke that's like being spurted out behind them and slowly taking over these towns. A lot of the journey is just this father and daughter duo just traveling between town to town, both escaping from this like thing that's coming after them, but also the mystery of what even is this like miasma, why is this all happening, what does it have to do with their main leads. It's very like Zelda and Earthbound inspired, so it's got a lot of very fun and quirky characters. There's like a whole character that's like just building a rocket and keeps on blowing stuff up all the time, but honestly like the actual plot itself is really simple. Like a lot of it is just like the characters just reacting to events happening to them, but kind of what I really enjoyed about the game is more like the vibes. Yeah, I feel like I'm just rambling. Do you guys have any other like any questions?
Trying to be
Welcome
polite.
to Rambling Media.
I was trying to be polite and let you finish the plot before I interrupted with my questions. I was going to make a comment about the guy with the rockets being Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, no, absolutely go in for some comments. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't want to be rude and interrupt, but I may as well interrupt anyway. Is the smoke following them sentient in any way? Or is it just a random cloud of smoke?
It is sentient. Like, there's like these monsters that like form from it and you have to fight them. And also there's this whole like town that gets swallowed up and just disappears because it gets like covered in like this smoke.
Probably jumping ahead here, but do we find out why the people underground thought the world above had ended when it hadn't?
Kind of. It's kind of explained that like the world technically does have like that this problem has been plaguing the world for a long time. They've reasonably thought that the world had ended and there was no reason to go to the surface. Just that they weren't entirely correct.
So more like ending, not ended.
Yeah. Still obviously not great, but like a lot of people in the world figured out how to live still within very dire circumstances.
So you mentioned that the vibe was the main reason why you kept coming back to this game to finish it. Is that more a vibe of aesthetics, music, mix of both? Yeah,
thank you for that, Sherlock. As I was saying before, like I really love the vibes of this game. Like I really love like all the quiet moments, but yeah, a lot of it has to do with both its art direction, its music. There are like more actiony scenes, like there's some really like fun boss fights, but what I kind of enjoyed more was just kind of traveling around like these small towns, talking to all the townspeople. There's a lot of like really cute scenes that happens actually, like your main character John is like this cook, and there's a lot of times where you have to like do this little cooking mini game together to like make food to heal your health, or just there's like a whole like game inside the game that all the characters talk about, but all the kid characters talk about how much they love it and all the little secrets they're trying to find with each other. While you're playing the normal story, you're getting hints about how to get through the game a bit easier, and then when you're going through this game inside the game, you're also getting hints about what's actually happening in the story as well. Kind of like a really neat attention to detail.
You said it was kind of pixely. Is it like 3D pixely? Is it 2D side scroller? What's the theme here?
It's like 2D, like sprite work. Trying to think.
Top-down sprite work like Earthbound, or
top-down sprite work like Earthbound, Legend of Zelda, that sort of thing.
I have played neither.
I don't know actually any other games that you would. I don't think you've played many games that are like really fit that vibe.
Is it a 2D side scroller?
No,
it's not a 2D.
It's like
you get a bird's eye view. You get a bird's eye view, and then you just follow your characters around.
I don't think I have played any games like that. You are correct.
Yeah,
it was a style that was in vogue back when video games were first starting to pop up. It was really common back when, back pretty much immediately after Legend of Zelda popped up, and then kind of faded away after the Game Boy Advance kind of left the market.
Yeah, pretty much.
So more or less like your average like classic era JRPG, then top down with a whole party following you, that sort of thing.
Not really. As in, like the only two characters that travel around together, their names are John and Sam, and it's more like a
very unique.
Yeah, Sam's a girl, John's a older, gruff dude.
I'm more thinking like.
Yeah,
John is the most stereotypical name for a white guy in the Western world.
Well, who says he's white?
This is true. I make the assumption based on his name.
You'd be correct. He is white.
Well, then now who's looking like the prejudiced one?
I'm not saying it's... I'm just saying it's a very common name for certain people in certain demographics. I mean, usually when someone is giving a fake name in a movie or TV show...
John Smith.
They usually say John Smith, exactly. That is the point I am making.
Well, admittedly, John Smith is the most common name in America, and has been for a very long time.
My point exactly. I am not prejudiced, thank you.
I think he was being sarcastic.
Well, most people who I know who are called John are white dudes. So
I mean, I just flat out don't know many people.
Fair enough.
weird flex, alright.
I'm happy with my small social circle.
Totally valid. I'll finish up the thing with the vibes, but it was just the thing that I enjoyed the most was just how like there's a lot of more cuter scenes in the game. Like this character that you play is called Sam. Because you play both characters. One, like John is like this guy, like a more beat-up character. He's like a frying pan that he uses as a weapon. And he's more like the damage dealer. And then there's like Sam who, I forgot to say, she also gets like psychic powers around the beginning of the game.
Fun.
But she can like use those powers to like freeze enemies, so like you can tag team between the two of them, so you can swap between the two, not only to like fight but also to solve different puzzles together.
Like in the Lego games.
Yeah, like in the Lego games.
Is there a two-player option in this game?
I don't think so, no. I think it's just like one continuous story.
Just wondering.
But yeah, there's a lot of like
very chaotic doing that though.
I mean, I've played Lego games with another person, and usually it's another person who doesn't really know how to play Lego games, so I end up getting frustrated.
Yeah, we've played Lego games together.
Or they keep dragging you along in a direction where you're like, no, there's an achievement here.
Yeah, that too. But the game does that on its own.
Yeah.
I don't need another person to do that.
not true. Yeah. One of the scenes that I actually honestly kind of like cemented for me, like, man, I love this thing. I love this game, was most of the start of the game, the character Sam like just doesn't have any shoes and they don't acknowledge it. And then at one point you've like moved into like this city and then Sam gets like these shoes for like this as like a present and she just starts running around just showing everyone her shoes. I'm just like, oh, that's so sweet. I was like, man, I love this thing.
Are we given an explanation for that, or is it just a thing?
It's just a thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's also like a lot of times like they do like little victory dances together and I'm like, oh, I love this thing.
I have a very important question.
Yes.
Are there animals you can interact with?
As like, can you pet the dog kind of thing?
Yes.
I don't believe you can pet the dog.
That is disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, there are like animalish type of monsters in the game, but you're there to fight them. You're not there to like be friends with them.
Well, that sucks.
So it's sort of like Sonic enemies where robots being piloted by small critters.
Well, they're living critters, so...
Well, no, you can't just drop a detail like that without explaining it.
In classic Sonic games, it was very typical for the robots to have small animals like birds, squirrels, inside them, controlling the robots. So when you broke them, they would release some small animals.
Were the animals there willingly?
No.
Or were they captured?
Captured by the Dr. Robotnik.
Because why not?
Because mad engineers do mad engineer things.
That was a rhetorical question.
Go on.
Awkward silence.
No, you're laughing. Go on.
Nah, I'll hold my tongue this time.
Spit it out.
Nope.
I have to know now. Spit it out.
Please, for the bit, think of the content.
Suffer in silence. See, look, I created silence. There we go.
Like,
God, you didn't create silence. You created confusion. There's a difference.
Well, the effect was the same.
Not the point.
No.
yeah. I think I'm actually through most of my notes, honestly. Like at this point. Yeah, actually, like, one thing I'll also talk about, like, there's a big puzzle element to this game as well. This isn't really, like, plot related. This is more just, like, the experience of the game itself. Also, at least for the music, I would play it here, but I feel like it's probably not a great idea.
We do not want to get sued for copyright infringement.
Probably not. But actually, gameplay itself, like, there's the combat section with, like, some pretty fun boss fights where you get to, like... A lot of the boss fights, well, you have to use the environment around you to win.
You really shouldn't have mentioned the frying pan, by the way. Now I'm just picturing Rapunzel from Tangled.
I mean, look, the frying pan's kind of goated. What can I say?
It's an effective weapon.
Yes, that was established in Tangled.
It was established in Tangled. Although, actually, yeah, like, because it wasn't like the frying pan just the best weapon in Tangled, and by the end, every single person was packing one.
It ends with all the guards having frying pans. Yes, It does. You see them all in two lines, and then they raise their frying pans.
Yeah.
Which I get the feeling if you ran through very quickly and were particularly tall, you'd get hit in the head pretty hard.
Oh, it would hurt. I mean, it's not a bad thing to use as a weapon. Like, they're non-lethal to an extent.
Yes, because having cast iron smack you off the side of the top of the head is non-lethal.
That's why I said to an extent. It depends on how hard you're hit. And on what part of the head you're hit.
Really?
And also how hard you fall.
That too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you hit at the back of your head, you're probably going to go blind, because that's the part of the brain that controls your eyesight.
Oh, true. I didn't think about that part. I was thinking about...
So yes, that would damage your eyesight, getting hit at the back of the head.
Well, hey, that shouldn't be a big problem for our listeners, though, because we do not have a visual component to this podcast. So, hey, if you get hit in the back of the head...
You can still listen to us.
Yeah, you can still listen to us very badly explain plots.
I mean... I feel like we could have done worse.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I've tried my best to try and avoid spoiling too much from it.
Well, it sounds like there's not much of a plot to this game. There's a guy and he's adopted a girl and they're travelling from town to town, figure out why there's sentient smoke following them.
Pretty much.
Is that a good summary?
That's a good summary.
Thank you.
Yeah, but also like there's a whole like puzzle section as well. Just thinking about this, because a lot of the world is involving like going around to like optional areas and solving different puzzles to get new like upgrades and all that. There's a lot of items that you can find. Well, there's a lot of items, but none of them. A lot of the upgrades are just fine. You don't really need them. They're just kind of, I feel, cool to get them. And also the puzzles. I know a lot of people I've seen, at least online, complain about like how the puzzles are like kind of easy in the game, but I kind of enjoyed them because they were like a little bit challenging, but they weren't challenging to the point where I needed to look up a wiki to figure out how to solve them.
I like easy puzzles. They make me feel smarter.
Yeah, it was like that sweet spot for me where I was like, yeah, I can solve it, feel a little bit satisfied because I had to do a little bit of work to figure it out, but I didn't have to pull up do a bunch of Googling to solve the puzzle.
I say again, I've played a lot of Lego games. The puzzles in those are incredibly easy.
Usually.
Yeah. Well, the only exception I can think of, have you guys played the game Tunic?
No.
Oh, I love that game. It's like also another game, very simple plot, but a lot of the fun behind it is that you're finding like the strategy guide for the game. Like every time you get through the section of the game, you're finding the pages to the strategy guide of the game you're playing.
Intriguing.
So like there's a lot of like secret pathways and secret abilities that you always had, but you don't know you had them until you read them, and then when you go back through, they still exist. So you don't have
That reminds me of a Simpsons game I once played. This was a long time ago because it was on the Nintendo DS.
Oh, wow.
And it literally, like, the Simpson characters are going through the manual as they're playing the game. I was like, oh, we're at this level now. Oh, okay, now we're at this level. And oh, look, I can do this thing now and I can do that. So it was actually kind of fun. Simpsons, Homer's power was that, like, he just ate a lot and became basically like a big blog thing.
So he basically became what's the green guy who rolls the ball that gets progressively bigger and takes over.
Katamari Damacy.
Don't know that one. And Lisa's power is probably my favorite. She did this like meditation thing that could make things float.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
And Marge had this like, I can't remember what Bart's was. He was Bartman, which is like Batman, so he could like hover and climb walls and stuff. Marge was like a rallying call, like she could summon people to help her with stuff. And Maggie could vent through vent.
Maggie could vent?
Despite not being able to say anything.
Yeah, so then no one would ever suspect her. She could never vote anyone else out.
I feel like the word vent is having a different meaning in this context, which I do not know. Please enlighten me.
Among Us.
Oh, right. God, I'm an idiot.
When autism collides.
In my defense, it's been a while since I played that game. I keep trying to get you guys into it.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Wait, which game was this again?
I think it was literally just called The Simpsons game, but it's been a while. I don't even know what happened to my Nintendo DS.
Right, okay.
It was a Nintendo DS, so it was a while ago.
I was about to say that was a very long time ago, considering the last time you played that would have been how many years ago now?
I don't bother counting. Not at all. But yes, I think it was literally just called The Simpsons game.
Yeah, I think I played it like I think I played the Wii version of that. Like
possible.
We more played, like, in terms of Simpsons games, we more played Simpsons Hit and Run.
Or the wrestling one.
The wrestling one was so weird.
There was a Simpsons wrestling game.
Yes, there was a Simpsons wrestling game.
Yeah, where
it's weird that does not surprise me.
Where like you could also play as Barney and just like burp like clouds that would damage the other players.
Because why not?
And the thing is, it would harm. So it was
No,
like
it wouldn't. It was just like stationary.
oh Barney. I was thinking of Krusty, wasn't I?
Yeah, you think of Krusty.
What did he do?
He
He
threw
threw
pies.
pies at you, and they harmed.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Please tell me Sideshow Bob threw knives.
I don't think he was available as a character.
Dang it!
I'm pretty sure he was. Like, I think he was available. I just don't remember what he did. Like I remember you could play as like Homer, Barney, Krusty the Clown.
You could play as a Pooh, I'm pretty sure.
So
I thought you could play as a Pooh.
What did he do?
no idea. Probably something racist.
Racist stereotypes.
Highly likely, considering that's his whole thing.
Yeah, I think you could also play as Chief Wiggum.
Yeah, imagine that. It's just
I bet he threw donuts.
I just like to think that I don't remember what he did, but I'm pretty sure. Well, I think it'd be really funny. You just like go into this wrestling match. Some guy brings a golf club, and then just Chief Wiggum brings a gun.
Yep.
Just brings a 6-shooter.
I believe that would be what they call overpowered.
I mean, true. Although I've seen some pretty crazy like wrestling.
True, but I don't think any of the Simpsons characters is powerful enough to dodge and or stop a bullet.
More powerful than a locomotive.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
I think Superman could do it. I believe in him. Yeah, man. I've like.
We're talking specifically Simpsons characters.
Yes, we're aware.
Yeah, but
Just couldn't help but make them.
I know.
Actually, do they even make any Simpsons games anymore?
Probably not. Like, there's Tapped Out on mobile devices, which is essentially rebuilding Springfield after Homer blows it up.
Then there was the Simpsons arcade beat 'em up. That was
an old one.
That was a very old
Yeah,
game.
like, I think it's just Tapped Out that gets updated every now and then. I don't know. I'd given up on playing it because of all the microtransactions. Is that the term?
Yeah,
I would call them macrotransactions at this point.
Good point. But yes, I sort of... And there was also... got to the point where there was a lot of waiting, and I got bored. Waiting for stuff to be built.
true. Well, that's why a lot of phone games I pick up, I will play for a day and then I uninstall them because I'm just like,
Yeah, sounds
don't
familiar.
care.
I do that quite a lot. Sometimes they don't even last a day.
Yeah, actually, same. I'll like...
Yeah, I look for new games. I find one, it's like, oh, this looks interesting. Give it a try. Nah, no thanks.
Give it like 3 hours and then be like,
Yeah.
I see why I quit the last one.
Yeah. I think I picked up Brawl Stars recently, like the newest like Clash of Clans game by the same like publisher.
Oh, yeah.
Mainly just because my youth boys are playing it a lot.
Fair enough.
Whenever, but then I keep on trying to pick it up and I'm just like, I just can't be bothered.
I mean, I feel like that's what happened when I tried Fortnite.
Yeah.
It got to the point, because like, I was late to that party. So I just did not have the patience to get good at it.
Admittedly, there have been some changes since then that would probably make it a lot easier for you to be able to pick it up.
Probably, but at this point I can't be bothered.
That's fair.
Yeah. So, back to Eastward. No.
Yeah, I was going to say, what were we talking about again?
Yeah, we were talking about the game Eastward.
Right.
Yeah, I think...
What platforms is it on? Out of interest, I feel like that's an important tidbit.
Great question and fantastic segue. So,
Hey.
yeah, so you can get it on Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and Steam, so PC, which like also includes Mac, Windows, I don't know.
Linux.
So
Probably.
computers, in other words.
It's almost never Linux though. Like most game developers are like, they just say, could I make it for a Linux version? And they just go, no. Yeah, it's true.
Any particular is like there a problem with the Linux operating systems or something?
As far as I know,
complicated.
As far as I'm aware,
A simple yes or no
It's
will do.
It's a build your own operating system. It's like
So it's complicated.
it's like what happened if you took all of the basic concepts of say Windows or Mac or whatever operating software you prefer, and then build it yourself from scratch.
So it's for people who really know computers.
to be able to use it, you need to really understand computer-based logic.
I feel like that's essentially what I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, sorry to say, it's not available on PlayStation, but no, it's actually like a fairly low-intense game, so you just play through it. I mean, granted, I have like a pretty powerful computer, so maybe that's not saying that much for anyone else, but I remember it being a fairly like easy experience in terms of like on hardware. Also, actually, there's also some DLC for the game that came out. It's like a farming simulator game. Yeah, although I have not beaten that one yet, as of the time of recording. But it's cute. Sorry.
Is that because you get fed up with the farming mechanics, or?
Yeah, I'm not a big farm game type of person.
Yeah, it's farming game simulators are interesting. I feel like it requires a certain amount of patience.
Yeah.
Because you wait for things to grow.
Pretty much. Like, well, I think that's the thing as well, is like, I
feel like out of all of us, I'm the most inclined to be really into farming sims just because of my... how do I put this? Whenever I'm playing an RPG, like, for some reason, I'm one of those, like, weirdo freaks that actually enjoys, like, the grinding of the characters.
Oh, really?
And also the variety to enjoy every single side quest in most games.
No. That's incidental. I legitimately enjoy, like, the process of level grinding so that I can then enjoy the fruits of my labor, where all of my characters just unnecessarily steamroll every single chapter in one turn. But
interesting. With me, it depends on the game. I am a bit of a completionist, though.
So it takes you a very long time to be able to get to the next game.
It does.
Yeah. Like, I think, at least like really grindy games, I will say definitely for farming games, I'm just not that patient. Like, for really grindy, get your characters to the max level, I just don't have any patience for it. I'm just like, I'm very much like, just get the experience and go, which Eastward's kind of like that. It's like, I think it's like 16 hours long.
No, so that's a relatively short game comparatively.
Yeah.
But completing it takes a lot longer.
I mean, if you know where everything is, it shouldn't take that long. Like, the extra content doesn't drag it. At least I feel like it doesn't drag it out too much. But that also could be because I enjoyed these quieter and smaller scenes in that game. Or like just times when you just hang out in this world.
Yeah. I mean, if it's done well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I have a couple of games like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think the whole thing's charming. But yeah, I'll say definitely with the grinding RPGs. I think the only exception I've ever had where I enjoyed grinding in an RPG was Final Fantasy Tactics.
A2, specifically?
Yeah, because in that game, the only way that you can level up is by doing quests. And every single quest has their own, like, there's no like copy paste quests. They're all like have their own plot line that you follow. So it was actually interesting to follow the plot lines of these quests.
Well, also they would have some recurring quests, like at the beginning of the game, you'd face a cockatrice, and you would fight that thing about 4 times total.
For those who aren't sure what a cockatrice is, it's basically
chicken on steroids.
Yeah, it's basically a basilisk, but it's a chicken and it can breathe fire, and it's also a lizard. It's kind of weird.
I was trying to remember. I'm wondering if it's in my copy of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It might be.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I'm really stretching my brain here.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a really fascinating character. Well, like, it's a fascinating game. And also, yeah, that one monster gets multiple reappearances because there's this whole quest line where you first get attacked from them when you enter the game, And then there's this whole NPC whose quest is trying to kill that monster because it killed his wife. Yeah. It's like, yeah, and like, oh, well, there's a lot of quests that are just kind of boring because they're just like, but the reward at the end is like you unlock a new class or something like that. But some of them, it's like, there isn't really much you get in terms of reward, but like the actual story for that quest itself is interesting. So then I'd be like, I can work past like doing grinding because I'm at least like interested and I'm invested in this plot.
Fair enough. It's always good to be invested in the plot.
Yeah, as opposed to Eastward, the game we're talking about. Well, welcome back. Thank you for the segue. Welcome back to 99.999999999 FM.
Yeah, I feel like we can establish that none of our segues will be in any way smooth. Or possibly coherent.
Yeah, not really. But
like they might be coherent, they might not be, but they will definitely not be smooth.
They will not be smooth. Yeah. Well, I think I was just thinking about actually wrapping up this episode. So
I will try and find out why the word vibes is funny to me.
The word what?
Did you just unpack that? Actually?
I don't know. It's just like every time one of you said vibes, I just sort of chuckled to myself, and I'm trying to figure out why.
It's the Constitution, it's the vibe, it's just the vibe.
I know, and I don't know why I am finding that word funny right now.
Vibes.
See, I'm doing it again. I don't know what is happening. Yeah. I cannot stop laughing at that word. Why?
Well,
is it like that episode of How I Met Your Mother with the whole moist thing?
I have not seen that show, and I won't.
Yeah, you don't need to. It's a plot line in one of the episodes where for some reason, I think it's one of the women in the show, for some reason they let slip that they hate the sound of the word moist.
Yeah. Like there's only one actor who I know and like in that series, and I can watch him in other things.
Yeah, but anyway, in that episode, like the rest of the cast constantly torments her by saying it randomly in conversation.
Well, that's just mean.
And if I recall, it all culminates at the end of the episode where they go to an opera or some shit, and it turned out that I think it was Neil Patrick Harris's character bribed the whole choir to just say moist for it.
Of course, Neil Patrick Harris's character would do that.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, actually, I mean, that kind of like makes me keen to watch How I Met Your Mother because I've heard it's actually pretty good.
That's the one episode that stood out to me.
It doesn't really look like my thing. I'm not a sitcom person, so like I said, if I want to watch Neil Patrick Harris be entertaining, I will just watch a series of unfortunate events.
I mean, fair enough.
Because he's really good in that.
That said, I've kind of wanted to sit down and watch Malcolm in the Middle all the way through. I've heard that's a surprisingly good one.
Is he in that?
No,
he's not.
Okay.
Although Neil Patrick Harris actually is in that one.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's one of the older brothers. He's the oldest brother, I think, in the family, and it's also got Bryan Cranston as the dad. I think that was
I don't know who that is, mate.
What's the wife from Breaking Bad?
You've probably seen... What's one that you've likely seen him in? If you've seen the first of the modern Godzilla movies, he was...
Nope, I have not.
Okay, he was the dad in that, but okay, never mind.
Although he is
I'll just show you a picture, never mind.
I have not seen a single Godzilla film in my life. It's almost impressive.
Well, that's irrelevant to this discussion. You have most likely seen his face at the very least.
Quite possible. Would you like me to list other franchises that I haven't seen? Fast and Furious, James Bond.
That makes sense.
Okay. No, James
Bond needs to be corrected.
Right,
I am upsetting my friends.
Bluejay.
This guy. Oh, I said your name. Whoops.
Freaking edit it out. Okay, looks vaguely familiar.
Maybe show me a younger version of him, because that might be a bit...
I can't see that helping.
Did it?
I mean, this is him when he's clean shaven, if that helps.
Nope, not really.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So yes, there's a lot of things that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I don't watch horror films. I
Although
don't
this-
watch chick flicks.
Although this is him in Breaking Bad, which you've probably recognised from all the memes about him.
Yeah, I've seen posters, like
Yeah.
I've seen pictures online, but yes. Have not watched it.
Shout out to the visual portion of this podcast.
That no one else can see.
I mean, yeah, an absolute tragedy that the audience can't bear witness to me just showing Bluejay a couple of pictures of Bryan Cranston for reference. But
Yes, I'm sure that's something that everyone could look up in their own time.
Shout out to our viewers who got punched in the back of the head.
If that has actually happened, I feel sorry for you, and please seek medical attention.
I think they probably have at this rate.
I would sincerely hope so, because that could actually do a lot of damage.
So, I'm going to wrap this up.
I'm starting to feel like they'll wish they were punched in the back of the head by the end of this episode.
Oh, they will if we don't stop talking.
I love this episode. It's so good. But let's bring it back together.
It's our first episode, it's not going to be good.
Exactly. So, we've talked a bunch. We've stayed on topic some of it. A little bit. Just to end it all, Eastward. Would you guys be interested in giving a shot and playing it?
No.
Nah.
Right. Well, that's the end of today's episode of Rambling Media. Thank you so much for listening. So next episode, we'll talk about something. And thank you. Enjoy your food. Look both ways before you cross the road.
And get to bed on time.
Yeah. Bye.